Electric car sales numbers are in for the month of May, and we're also going to talk about global sales as well for the electric cars, but there's a surprise in there, and it's this baby right here, Audi e-tron. If you've been watching my channel, you must be familiar with this car, and it's giving it's catching up to a Tesla Model S, which I gotta tell you, I got surprised because it just went on sale. I know the production is still not ramped up, but can it overtake Tesla Model S's, in terms of sales in the United States? It is very interesting and almost scary. I guess not scary, but definitely interesting in terms of events. So let me tell you about those numbers. We're going to go over all of the numbers for the US sales for the electric cars and the global ones. All of them are presented by Inside EVs. So let's get going right now. Welcome to E4Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on the subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything moving forward. And the unbiased part of this channel is brought to you by my Patreons. The people who support me on Patreon, that's where they also get to watch me live. And thank you to one of my newer Patreons whose name I've already butchered so many times, I'm just going to let you look at it. Thank you to that person for supporting me on Patreon. So if you want to join my community there, patreon.com/E4Electric. That link is in the description of this video. All right, so let's jump into the numbers. And you know what? I've actually did my own graphics here because I ended up kind of always redoing some of the order that Inside EVs does because they order them by the total sales of the year. But I just kind of want to total them in, order them by the sales just for the last month. Also, I wanted to kick any plug-in hybrids out of there, but huge thank you to Inside EVs, and not just because I can, use this data and talk to you about it, but thank you for them to providing this to us every month on InsideEVs.com. It's not easy. It's not like you just, every company reports numbers and you just grab them and post them in the graphics. They actually do a lot of research to figure out what those numbers are. Most companies, including Tesla, report them quarterly. So kudos to Inside EVs. All right, so let's talk about this chart here. As you can see, Tesla Model 3 continues to be a big winner at just outselling everybody altogether. So that's great to hear. Now this is US and this is from May last month. Okay. And the second one is Chevy Bolt. It's beating out Tesla Model X by just a little bit. Now, though, I have to say the numbers are still a little disappointing. I would like to see everybody else get into 2000s and 3000s. I've been really feeling that it's been kind of stagnant and people are not, that is not going up, and it's like May, so we got to get going. We're past the January and February where the sales are historically slow, so that's a bit of a disappointment still. Now Tesla Model S, even though it's up from the previous month, it's still barely above 1,000. I'm assuming things are going to start changing because they just did a refresh and a lot of people are excited about it. And those who want a ludicrous mode are getting it for free. That's $20,000 worth of cool stuff. And that's awesome. But what you can see here is Audi e-tron is right behind it. Really less than 200 sales are separating them. And don't forget, e-tron is just starting to deliver these cars. They're delivering them as fast as they can, and the production has not been ramped up. So I'm wondering, even next month, if Tesla Model S sales will stay the same, will Audi e-tron actually beat it? And I have to say that I have a Facebook group for Tesla owners, but I've also created one for Kia Niro EV owners and others, including the Audi e-tron, and that has been by far the fastest growing Facebook group for me. I think I now have 1,100 owners there, and so obviously the excitement is there for the e-tron. I was kind of wondering if it was just me because I was really excited about the e-tron. For the time being, I decided not to go with it just yet, but this is definitely a big surprise. Once again, a disappointment is in Jaguar I-Pace, only 266 sold. Now, they keep telling us how this is normal, they're just ramping up their numbers, but they've launched last fall, and they're already selling, third of what e-tron is doing, and e-tron has been on sale in the United States only for 2 months. Not cool. And other disappointments are down below, and these are disappointments for the United States. I've been talking about this on the channel for a while. Kia Niro EV, a little over 100 units, and not even 100 units to Hyundai Kona EV. Now, they're doing pretty well around the world. It's just the United States. They don't seem to be supplying them. They're already selling them only in ZEV states, which doesn't mean you can't buy them in other states. It's just more hassle. But nevertheless, it's just been an ongoing battle here that Tom Malogny from Inside EVs, one of the contributors, he has his own segment on Fridays, and we've been talking about this consistently. He's been in the middle of the test drive of Kia Niro EV for the last couple of weeks, and we've been talking about that. Great surprises. This is a great car that's been giving all of us a lot of great surprises, including the much higher than expected range, much higher than expected charge rate at the level 2 at home, but the sales have been just embarrassingly bad. I love the car. I don't love that Kia is not behind it. So that's what it is. But listen, Audi is, I wonder what people are going to say if Audi beats Model S next month or in the next couple of months, which is possible. Like they just came. When I saw this number, seriously, I thought I would see 100 or 200, and I was really surprised. And I think that would be a wake-up call for Tesla. It may be even a wake-up call for other manufacturers saying, hey, listen, you make a decent car. It doesn't have to be the greatest ever, but you make a decent attempt of creating a all-electric car from scratch, and you will be rewarded with sales that will be higher than Tesla Model S, which has been the king for a long time. Long way down to the Model 3 sales, obviously, but we're still talking about, this car is priced pretty much the same as the Model S, so it is more in terms of how much money people are willing to part with. It's more in comparison to that. All right, now let's talk about global sales now. And before that, of course, I want to remind you that this video and this channel is sponsored by Byton. Starting at only $45,000 before the incentives coming here to the United States and Europe at the end of next year. You should reserve yours today. Over 50,000 people, including myself, have done so, and it costs you $0 to reserve it, about 60 seconds of your time. So browse to the description of this video, grab the link, and reserve yours today if you haven't already for some reason. All right, let's get to the global sales. Once again, thank you to Inside EVs for doing this. I think they've collabed on this with some of the other publications and journalists, so thank you to everybody who's contributed that. I have once again rearranged the numbers because I wanted to kick out the plug-in hybrids, and this is in the order of the sales so this is for April, right? So the May numbers have not come out yet. All right, so let's look at them. This is worldwide, right? So Tesla Model 3 on top, which is great. Now, but you'll see that half of the other ones are essentially Chinese brands. Byton, I know a lot of you guys probably haven't heard of Byton brand, but they've been the one of the highest. Actually, they were on top of all electric car sales for a long time. I know people are not aware of it, but China has been the best place on earth for electric cars in the last year or so. So that's Byton. Then Nissan Leaf, third overall in the world. The sales are not great in the United States, but in Europe they've been kind of kicking butt. Norway, so look at almost 4,400. Then again, Bike, another Chinese company, and then Byton again. And these are per model. These are not per brand. So as you can see, the Byton Yuan EV, and now this one is Byton E5. So there's two Byton cars that are all electric that are being sold now. Unfortunately, I can see that Nissan Leaf should have been underneath Byton E5. So that's my bad. I'm Russian and I don't know math very well, so my bad. So Nissan should have been lower than that. But then we go with Geely. But what I really want to have your attention is at Renault Zoe. Top 10. Renault Zoe is only being sold in Europe. A lot of people don't even know about it here in the United States. I don't believe they're on sale in China. So they're just kicking butt, just only in Europe. And Renault Zoe is it's a well-priced car. As you can see, it's a hatchback. I believe it comes in 2 and 4 doors. Correct me if I'm wrong. Those of you watching from Great Britain, especially, it's pretty popular there. They did have an option to lease the battery and purchase the battery. That wasn't very successful, but nevertheless, they've tried. So kudos to them for that. All right, and the last one, and this is what we were talking about in USL, embarrassingly bad sales in the United States. Let me put that up. As you can see, 91 all the way on the bottom over there. But in global sales, they're actually at over 4,000 of them because they're selling them in Korea, they're selling them in Europe. It's just they're not bringing them in the United States, and it's just for the life of me, I don't understand. They certainly can double the number, and I mean, I don't want to guess, but I bet they could double that number if they really market that car because it is a great call along with a Kia Niro EV. But just like I said, Biati is out there. It's a Chinese brand. They don't seem to be very interested in going to the United States. China has been great breeding ground for them. Obviously, they have a lot of technologies. You can see self-parking technology. They have a lot of stuff implemented. Obviously, these cars are built not up to par to the European or American regulations. Everything is much looser there. It's just completely different universe. But nevertheless, look at these numbers and you look at these cars. Half of them are Chinese that are only being built for Chinese market. And obviously, Tesla Model 3 success will be added to by the Chinese market as well. So, I don't like that these numbers are not growing that fast. I mean, obviously, Model 3 is an exception, but they've been kind of stagnant, I have to say. I thought a lot of these numbers, especially for the U.S. sales, would not have ones in front of them or be even under 1,000. I really was hoping twos and threes. So we'll see how the rest of how the summer goes. But gee, I hope the next year with all of these amazing cars coming on the market, I really hope we have a better luck. Overall, I have to say, couple of surprises, couple of great things going for it, but overall, still kind of disappointed. Remember, to join our VIP list, that's free, bonus story every week, and of course, you probably heard many times from me that we do a deal of the month where you can save some money just by subscribing to our list. So just go to e4electric.com/VIP. All right, that's pretty much it for me, guys. I will see you next time, and remember to stay charged.